Hi, my name is Gerhard Schwantner and welcome to Selling Power TV. Today we have the great pleasure of meeting with Chris White. He's the author of a wonderful book, The 6 Habits of Highly Effective Sales Engineers. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you so much, Gerhard. Delighted to be here.
What made you decide to write a book about training sales engineers and help them elevate their game?
I have thought for years that the sales engineer role has been the most underserved role by the sales training and sales enablement industries. I became a sales engineer about 15 years into my career. And frankly, Gerhard, I thought I was going to be brilliant because I could move a mouse and talk at the same time. What I learned very quickly was that there's a lot more to being in sales and an effective sales engineer than just being good in front of an audience. And about 5 years after that period, I got into management and I took over a team of pre and post sales consultants, discovered that many of them were making many of the same mistakes that I had made. I first got into the role. There was no training. There was nothing out there for pre-sales. So I created a training program for my team. And actually, I have to give you and your conference a little bit of credit. I attended your sales, I think it was Sales 3.0 conference in San Francisco. And as I sat through that conference, desperately wanting to be one of the people on stage, talking and sharing my insights about how to be an effective sales engineer, it struck me that everyone that was on stage at your conference, or virtually everyone on stage at your conference, had written a book. And I said, if I really want to get into this business and do this, which I think I can, I need to write a book. And that was really the inspiration after having delivered that training for various groups over about a decade and having numerous people tell me, you know, you really ought to do this professionally. You really ought to write a book. And on June 21st of 2019, my book was launched as a #1 best-selling new release on Amazon in less than 2 months.
Why do sales engineers need specialized training? Isn't the regular training good enough for them? The regular sales training is helping all salespeople in the company. Why do they need a different training?
First of all, sales engineers are just wired differently. We just think differently and we're wired differently. By the way, one of the first parts of my book, one of the first sections of the book is you are in sales. When sales engineers attend normal sales training, oftentimes it falls on deaf ears because if they don't think of themselves as sales, they tune out. We're not even invited to the party until all the prospecting and the hard work of just getting the meeting is done. And sales training for sales engineers, it has to be sales training for people who are, frankly, non-salesy and don't necessarily recognize that they're in sales.
You told me earlier before we started that SAP and Salesforce.com, they're giving you a book to all the new hirees, which seems to suggest that the book is for new sales engineers. Is that the case, or can experienced sales engineers benefit from that as well?
You're absolutely right. I tell a lot of people, if you're new to the role or you're considering the role, this is a great place to start. Number two, I've actually had a number of very senior, very seasoned sales engineers say, honestly, Chris, like much of what you said, I think I already knew, but you just helped me organize the tools in my toolbox.
Share an example of one habit that you feel is the most important and yet it is the most overlooked.
Habit #1 is simply, and I put those in air quotes, to partner with our sales counterparts. Without that effective partnership with sales, we simply cannot achieve the level of effectiveness and success that we are striving to. Here's the reality. sales is a team sport. And one of the very first things that my readers read in the book is, you are in sales. We need to come to peace with the fact that we're in sales, and we need to accept that sales is a team sport. Even though many of us are individual contributors and we like being the knight in shining armor that comes in to deliver the message, you have to recognize that the partnership, we have to prioritize the customer, prioritize the partnership and the organization first.
Well, here's my recommendation. If you're a salesperson or a sales engineer, head to Amazon.com, get the book. If you're a sales leader and you want your pre-sales force and your sales engineers become like 10x more effective, call Chris. He has a phenomenal training program, and he's going to help you skyrocket your sales.
Thank you so much, Gerhard. It's absolutely my pleasure. Take care.